those of you who don't know me, I'm Leining, and I'm currently a junior mechanical engineering major, of course. Actually, I'll be a senior next semester, next academic year. I'm going to be capstone, so I can finally officially say I'm going to be a senior. My experience thus far, like Matt, I worked at Marathon. That's where I got my internship start as a co-op, and I worked there for 5 years in the project engineering group. And then after that, I moved over to NASA at JSC and worked with Leidos Innovation Corporations in association with LZ Technologies out there on the cargo mission contract for 8 months. And then I also just recently secured an internship with BP for the summer. I'll be working in their upstream division in their wells interventions and completions group for offshore oil projects in the Gulf of Mexico. So that's just a little bit of background about me, a little bit more about my involvement. I've been a part of ASME for 2 years. Last year I was in a similar situation to Matt, since I was taking a co-op and then also trying to take classes. I definitely was not a presence on campus as much. I spent all my time running up and down I-45 trying to make it back and forth to work and take classes at the same time, and it was just running me ragged. So I didn't have the opportunity to be as involved last academic year as I would have liked to have been. So that's something that I made sure to try to change this year. I got involved in the mentorship program that Ali headed up, and I saw that as a great opportunity to try to pass on some of the knowledge that I've acquired through the internship process and the interview process, just to try to pay it forward and build up our incoming members. And that's one of the things that I want to really focus on is connecting, like Matt said, with the younger underclassmen, making them feel welcome and involved from the get-go. I want people, when they come into the lounge, to feel welcome straight off the bat. I know we're engineering students who are busy and we all have our work to do, but I think just treating everybody from the janitors to the underclassmen to the president of the organization the same way will go a long way to develop our image as an organization, and will also promote involvement in our organization, which Matt touched on as being a talking point. So I guess a little bit about why I'm applying, or why I'm a candidate. It's nothing against Kenneth or Rakaya. I came into the lounge the other day and it was like, why are you running against so-and-so? Can you think you can beat so-and-so? But I don't want to make it against like me, Kenneth, and Rakaya. That's not what it's about. I've got respect for both y'all, so don't think that I'm coming after y'all personally, and try not to make the questions about like us personally, because that's not cool, and that's not what I want to be. I don't want the organization to be about. I want it to be about building everybody up. So my main vision, I guess, for the organization really involves 3 like cornerstone goals. The first being involvement, which I already touched on. The second being enrichment within the program, and then the third being development. And I think they all just kind of build off of each other, and I don't think you can necessarily have the latter 2 without the first. So involvement, and how do we get people more involved in the organization? Like I already mentioned, I just want everybody to feel welcome from the get-go. How we necessarily make people feel more welcome, obviously open to suggestions as well, but just starting with just having conversations with people in the lounge, and not just ignoring them and going and sitting down and doing your own thing, and just reaching out to people and having good events like we already put on, resume critiques, mock interviews, and things like that get people involved, and just providing first-class events that really give people no choice but to want to come and be more involved in the ASME because they see the benefits out of it. One way we can improve involvement, I think, is just by improving I think there's areas to improve in our communication. I think Yusuf kind of touched on as well, like companies have backed out on him, it sounds like last minute, and that's frustrations that I've heard from other people who are commuting into campus, is that they get here and all of a sudden the Exxon reps that they thought they were going to go talk to didn't show up for the event. And I understand that kind of thing is out of Yusuf's control, but depending on the circumstance, I like to try to send out an email to our members and let them know as soon as we get that information, whether it be an hour before the event or 30 minutes before the event. If we've got a guy commuting in and committed to networking with Exxon and he shows up and Exxon's not here, then that looks bad on us for just a lack in communication. I want to bridge that communications gap that I feel like we might have. I think there's room for improvement so that everybody from the core officers all the way down to paid members and non-paid members are all on the same page and all understand the ins and the outs of the organization, and that there's not just a cluster of information that's shared among officers only. The second thing I wanted to try to improve upon is just enrichment within the program. And since I haven't been a core officer, I've been able to kind of hear some of like the whispers where people have had like complaints or people want to see improvement. I know Daniel talked about wanting to improve the ASME lounge, which is always a plus. And I also want to see the lounge get improvements as well, and that's something that I'd like to try to work with the treasurer with to see what kind of money we have in our budget to make those improvements. He mentioned things like a whiteboard. And I want to try to just declutter it as well. Like he said, there's chairs in there that just people like toss around because nobody wants to sit in. And that's another reason why maybe people can't be as involved, because it seems super packed all the time, and it is. But getting rid of some of the clutter will allow more people to come into the lounge. And then also improving the workbench we have for the tools. I think that's something that is very good as an ASE member that we have and that we offer, is like our tools that the machine design projects come in and use, and also the make design projects use. But like last week I saw several like poor, I say poor, not like pity them, but intro to mechanical design people trying to cut 1/8 inch like balsa wood with a hacksaw that's got a metal blade on it. And it's taken him 5 times as long as it should, just because he doesn't have the right tools necessary. So, and I don't know if we have those tools on hand, but I mean, it's not difficult to change out the saw blade. And so just little things like that to where we can really focus in on why exactly people are coming in and utilizing the lounge and having the necessary tools to let them be successful and not waste their time trying to cut plywood with a metal saw blade and they're not getting anywhere. So that's one area where I'd like to see the lounge improve. I'd also like to maybe consider whoever's job it is, or introducing like a webmaster to kind of revamp the website and keep it up to date. I've been very involved this year, but one thing that I've noticed is that like I've tried to go on the Airtable and my stuff still isn't updated. I'm not actually even on the list, and I'm a paid member. I've been to just about every single event we've had, and I just want to be more transparent with our members all the way down, and that starts at the top, I think, with our core officer positions. And I'd like to talk with other officers to see how we can improve the transparency from the top of the organization, so that we can get the information out to everybody, so that everybody's on the same page. I know we offer workshops. Like this year we offered a SolidWorks workshop, and I think that was great. And I'd like to consider the opportunity to be able to target workshops for each like age group, be it like freshmen. I know freshmen are always freaking out about MATLAB. So maybe working with, I know the TAs who teach 1331, and also the professors, so we're not stepping on the professor's toes and just doing a mastery assignment for them. We're trying to get them better familiar with the MATLAB program, and then also, again, targeting the sophomore, junior level of people with things like AutoCAD, like we did this semester, which I think was great. And then also, I'm in FEM right now, so maybe introducing like abacus workshops. We can maybe coordinate with Dr. Rao or Dr. Baxavanis to make people feel more comfortable with the type of software that we're going to be expected to use as our careers develop. And then also, I didn't get a chance to go to the Daikin company tour, but I thought that was a great idea that y'all introduced. I thought that was really cool. I wanted to go, and I think that's a very good direction I think the organization could head. You know, we're always used to companies coming to our campus and coming to see us and then telling us by word of mouth what to expect at their company. But I think us actually going to the company sites and actually seeing for ourselves firsthand what that company has to offer speaks a lot more to the company than trying to hear it from a company rep who's trying to sell the company to us. So I think that would be a very good way to get our members more involved as well, people could go out to different companies, be it JSC down at NASA, or oil and gas is always huge in Houston, things like that, to give people a better perception as to what makes BP different from Exxon. You know, two oil and gas companies, how do they know which to choose from, having not worked for the companies? So besides hearing from the company reps what makes their company so great, actually going to the sites and seeing how they differ firsthand would be really beneficial for our members, and I think would attract a lot more involvement as well. And then the third and final thing I just want to touch on is the development. Like I said, that I think we can build upon with involvement and enrichment, because at the end of the day, everyone's going to college here to get a job. Everyone's studying engineering to get a good paying job, and I think that's really what I want to focus that's really what I want to focus on achieving, like more involvement, is so that people can develop themselves professionally through things that we already offer and continue. I want to continue to offer things like that, like resume workshops, mock interviews. That's something that helped me tremendously, and but I think we can continue to build on that, and I want to try to maybe build on the mentorship program that we have and make it. I want to try to focus our efforts into professional development more, because after the mentorship stage, there's kind of like a gap here where people are kind of, you know, thrown into the lion's den trying to get internships. And I've heard frustrations from multiple people who've been unable to get internships. And I want to try to utilize the internships experience I've been able to get and try to spread that love and make sure everybody can get internships. So I guess with that, I'll finish up so that other people have time to talk. Are there any questions?